Alright, KSI, Tommy Fury, Logan Paul versus Dillon Danis, the fight week, the prime card finally here. And I told you guys a while back I would do this during fight week. I did a video a while back, I think around the time where KSI won against FaZe Temper, breaking down his boxing, saying some things I needed to work on. I have yet done it. This was back in I think January, maybe even February. We are now in October. A lot of time has passed. How has KSI actually improved? If this video does well, I might do one on Tommy Fury. I was going to combine the two, however, it would just be way too long. So I do have some stuff on it. I also want to do Logan Paul sometime this week, all before the prime card. Obviously, there isn't much to do on Dillon Danis. I already have a video breaking down some of his boxing from when he was going to fight KSI, so maybe check that out. But maybe I'll make an updated one because there is some new footage and talk about the fight, but I'll definitely make more videos talking about these kind of fights. And yeah, this is a massive fight week for influencer boxing, and because of that, I'm going to be breaking down KSI's fight against Joe Fournier back in May. This was his last fight and probably his highest level of competition up until this point, maybe tied with Logan Paul, I'm not really sure. But Joe Fournier did have some moments in this fight, I'm not gonna lie, like very slim moments, don't get me wrong, but if you're Tommy Fury watching this fight, there are a lot of good takeaways. But before we get into this fight, I just want to remind you guys, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. We're trying to 20K by the end of the year. You guys are the best fan base in MMA and boxing, so I know you guys can help me with that goal. I'm gonna break down the fight. I'm gonna tell you guys what are some of my thoughts, what are some things that I noticed, what are things that KSI should improve on going into the Tommy Fury fight. How do you beat KSI? Let's get into it right now. Alright, now as you can see, I got the setup. I did the fire. That's kind of their design, so I was like, hey, why not try to mix it up, try to get a little something special. A lot of my main criticism about KSI in the last one was his inability to cut off the ring. I thought that was something that you should have improved on, especially being such a pressure heavy fighter. Also the fact that he was out of balance, also some of his hand placement was incorrect. Those are all things I worry about when you're fighting a guy like Tommy Fury that has been boxing for a while. So let's just watch the fight. Alright, the fight starts. And right away, KSI in the karate stance. Now look, the importance of fighting KSI, I said this in my last video, breaking down his boxing, but the importance is to get this guy going backwards. If you get KSI going backwards, you will almost pretty much automatically win, because KSI, his flaws that he has is protected by the fact that he's going forward, by the fact that he has this pressure style. You see fighters do this all the time, like Charles Oliveira. He's a fighter that does benefit from being a pressure heavy fighter, and it definitely masks some of his flaws defensively that he has. And that's the same thing with KSI, so it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just knowing where your strengths are. Right off the bat, KSI doesn't even throw anything, and Joe Fournier is backing up. That is not a good sign if you're Joe Fournier. It probably was a big moment for him. He probably was very nervous, and those kind of things is why nerves are important going into fight week. How will Logan Paul handle the nerves with Dillon Danis about all the trash talk? These little details can affect how a fight goes, and it actually may be a huge difference, but I don't mean to keep going on and on. And this Joe Fournier needs to get on his jab a little bit more so than Tommy Fury is going to be able to do. Oh, and a big right hand. That was a massive right hand from KSI. But right off the bat, Joe Fournier not jabbing. This is something that Tommy Fury will do. A jab can control the importance of the fight, right? When you're throwing a jab, you're not necessarily trying to break the face of your opponent. It's just to set up some distance, trying to distract them a little bit. Just have that, you know, to kind of fill that nothingness in a fight, right? Just kind of distract your opponent, set up some things. And that's why a jab is super important, especially in boxing. But I think it also is important in MMA. And I think if Joe Fournier would have just popped out his jab in these moments, he could have actually controlled KSI just a little bit and could have avoided this massive right hand that lands. But still, if you look at it, I'm going to point it out here. But this is what's bad. I'm going to show you guys here. Look, as you can see, if you look at KSI's foot, that is not good. KSI does this all the time. He did this in his last fight, right? And it happens to everybody when starting out. But KSI has that right foot up, and yeah, that's normally when you're reaching, right? You can't do this kind of thing. Because look, if someone hits you right then, if KSI got hit right there, if Joe Fournier's right hand right here was able to hit KSI right here, KSI would get knocked down because there's no balance, right? Not even because he's hurt. He's just going to get knocked down. And that's what I fear about Tommy Fury. And that is a prediction I have. I think KSI will definitely get knocked down at some point in this fight, and I don't think it'll be because he's hurt. I just think it's because he's so off balance some of the time, throwing these shots so hard. But as you can see, look, that is why a jab is important, to make sure you have the right distance to step in and then throw the right hand. That's what you gotta do. Okay, KSI doing good. KSI right hand over the top. That was a great right hand, you know, didn't overextend. Oh, another good right hand. But Joe Fournier claims it's in the back of the head. I don't think that was in the back of the head. And a push from KSI. And guys, pay attention to this. This is something I just noticed that is a very small detail. And I know I might be making a big thing out of nothing, but this kind of thing is what you can't do against Tommy Fury. So look. So as you see, look, they're both in their stances. KSI has his hands completely down, which is so funny to pause on this screen because what the hell, it doesn't even look like he's in a fight. But as you can see, Joe Fournier clearly in a fight. And look, KSI knows what he's doing. It's okay to have your hands down at this distance because there's no way Joe Fournier is going to be able to hit KSI without KSI having enough time to put his hands up. Okay, so that's not really that big of a deal. But it's that. Look, it's this. Look, you see this? Look, he feints that hand. And look at KSI. goes back. Look at that big step back. Like, he must have gone all the way back. You can't do that. And this is where Joe Fournier really should have capitalized, because if you pressure KSI, he's going to lose. Like, he's going to get knocked out because the guy doesn't have exactly the best defense. However, look, Joe Fournier kind of just takes a little bit of a step, and KSI is able to get back into range. That is something that I think that Tommy Fury, another good right hand over the top, but that barely kind of landed. That just missed him, I guess. But that was really bad for Joe Fournier. He should have took full advantage, got into his space, and made KSI respect him. That's the thing. KSI did not respect Joe Fournier. Now, I do think he's going to respect Tommy Fury, so that might make a little bit of a difference, but that means that those feints might be worse. The reactions from KSI might be worse, and he might be going backwards because Tommy Fury is a guy that does feint a lot, and KSI knows Tommy Fury is a big challenge, so he was going to respect Tommy Fury a lot going into that ring. KSI picking him apart here at range. Nice jab of the body. Good feint. You guys see that? That was a nice feint. A good circle. Try to feint a little bit of an uppercut. Right hand of the body follow. This is not what you want to see from Joe Fournier. Look, the running. No. You can't do that. And he does catch KSI at the end of it, because like I say, KSI does have a lack of defense, especially when going backwards. However, obviously, Joe Fournier doesn't have enough power to land anything significant with that. He does get like a little bit of a hook off on KSI, but you can't run at KSI, and this is for Tommy Fury. This is what Tommy Fury can't do. It might get frustrating if KSI is pushing the pace, is making Tommy Fury go backwards. It might be frustrating, but you can't just run at somebody in a boxing match. Otherwise, you're going to end up like Nate Robinson. Remember what happened with him? Jake Paul loaded up a big right hand and KO'd him out cold. Momentum meets momentum. You cannot do that. But I think Tommy Fury knows that. I think he's going to stick behind his jab, and I think he's going to use feints in order to get the pressure off of him from KSI. Right hand misses. All right, so this is the end of the first round. Clear round one from KSI. KSI landed the better shots, and Joe Fournier literally had nothing basically in this round. But in the second round, he does have some moments, which I'm going to get into right here since it's starting. I think Joe's corner told him, hey, be more heavy with the jab. As you can see, look at the lead hand. The lead hand's already moving a lot more, but KSI is doing a good job jabbing. A nice right hand lands. That kind of landed a little bit awkward, but that's what's good. Now, this is an important moment. Look, Joe Fournier, as you can see, look at his eyes. His eyes is looking at KSI, sees he's overextending himself, sees an opening for that left hook. KSI retracts his right hand and is about to go in for another one. Now, take a look at this second right hand. Look, KSI, he throws it. That check hook almost lands. His chin, he kind of moves his head to the side, which helps him out. But if his head was a little bit near the center, yeah, he would have gotten hit with that, and that would have been a big shot. So good on KSI for getting the head off the center line. But those are just shots that are open. Look, and then he throws the right hook. That misses. And then another hook. That misses. Another hook that misses. So good head movement from KSI. However, it just was interesting to see that even Joe Fournier picking up on that check hook counter, which I think can be there. Logan actually hit KSI with that shot at the end of the first round of their fight. All right, so look at this exchange, guys. Like, I'm going to show you guys, like, as you can see, look, they both jab. Joe Fournier did a good job looking at KSI at all times. Like, a lot of people, when they're starting out, not that Joe Fournier was necessarily starting out, but a lot of people will flinch, look to the ground, throw a punch, like, look away. And KSI kind of does that, but his eyes, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here and say maybe he was looking at Joe Fournier. But, like, as you can see, Joe Fournier was looking at KSI, which helped him a lot, right? That's why he was almost able to land that check hook. He was looking at him. He sees that jab hand is down, right? And that's not good. That means the right hand can go over the top. Look, the ear is right there. If you land a right hand to that ear, where Joe Fournier is, I don't care if you're Joe Fournier, that's gonna hurt KSI. Right on the ear, yeah, he's gonna get fucked up. And especially if Tommy Fury lands that, that's bad, okay? So look at this. So then they jab again at the same time. And this time, look, perfect shot. Lands on the ear, just like I just said. And it lands. So that is important, and that's why I think that Tommy Fury is going to have some success here. If Joe Fournier is able to see those openings, Tommy Fury is going to be able to. Tommy Fury has been boxing since he was 5 years old. The experience that Tommy Fury has is his best strength. He doesn't have necessarily the best skill, however, just his ring IQ, just the experience that he has, just the amount of times that he has sparred is a massive advantage over these YouTubers, and that's what I think is going to help him get the win at the end. Alright, but I believe this is the beginning of the end here, and this was good of Joe Fournier, and something that Tommy Fury will do as well. Look, he circles out, and this is why KSI has to get better about cutting off the ring. He did do pretty well in this fight. He did do a lot better than he did in his last fight at cutting off the ring. He did have a lot of good moments, especially at the end of the first round. However, look, Joe Fournier uses his jab and circles out, and now look, where is KSI? The back of the ropes. If KSI's back is behind the ropes, that's not really good. It doesn't mean that he's automatically going to lose in that moment, but it isn't good. That's not where he wants to be, and I'm sure KSI will tell you that himself. You can see, look, Joe Fournier kind of, feinting a little bit. KSI trying to find that range. Good patience from KSI. I think the KSI of old would have rushed it with a big overhand, swinging like crazy, getting out of position, which might have worked against Joe Fournier, but, but still, I like this, and this will definitely help him against Tommy. Oh, and a big right hand lands. That was perfect from KSI. Used the jab to set up the distance and the elbow at the end. Yeah, I don't think we're going to break down the elbow, but he used the jab to get in close. I'm going to play it back. KSI double jab and a right hand over the top, and yeah, that was the end. I know the elbow technically landed the fight, however, that was the ending shot, and that's why KSI won the fight. Now, that was the breakdown of the fight. Now, look, there's a lot of takeaways. I want to address a few things, maybe some criticisms that people will have. First things first, I'm not criticizing Joe Fournier a lot in this video because who really gives a shit about Joe Fournier's boxing, if we're going to be honest? He's probably not going to fight again, so who cares, right? Like, I'm not here to critique him. I did make some critiques that said what he should have done differently, but that is just more to apply to Tommy Fury, so I'm not getting into him, so no surprise. I don't think anybody had any concerns about that. However, I want to address, I know if KSI is watching this video, I've seen how he interacts with other people. I know he's going to think I'm just being a hater. I'm not being a hater. I actually don't really care if he wins or loses. I don't really have a horse in this fight, to be honest. I just like to break down boxing. Nobody is after any of these influencers when they do these breakdown videos. I just want to defend everybody because it's honestly one of the more ridiculous things I've ever heard. Recently, I made a joke on Twitter about Logan Paul's replies, now they're hidden, and his actual editor did respond to me, claiming I was coming at him for relevance or something like that. I was not coming at anybody for relevance. Yes, I did make a joke about him, but to be honest, I didn't know who he was. I literally thought that he might have been like a fan account or something like that. So it did make sense to always see his replies, but as you guys could see my reply here, I basically just told him the facts. I'm not coming at him for relevance or anything. I would not come after Logan Paul's editor for relevance, first of all, right? Like, I would come after Logan Paul himself. Secondly, just because I have a criticism about Logan Paul or even his editor or anything, that doesn't mean I'm hating, right? It's just a criticism. And I made a lighthearted joke. It wasn't like I said, oh, fuck you, you piece of shit. It was a joke, right? It's just a joke. I was not coming at anybody for relevance. Like, that was just mind-boggling to me. I have no ill will towards Logan Paul or any of those guys or his editor. His editor seemed like a nice guy. He said he enjoyed the content, so I gave him a follow. So no hard feelings on my end. I'm just saying, though, I feel like a lot of the times that there is this conversation where somebody is just bringing up criticism and they confuse it for hate. There are haters out there. There are haters on Twitter. There are trolls out there. But if you look at my content, you guys will know I am not a hater. And personally, I know myself, I am probably the least hateful person, and anybody that knows me will tell you that. Personally, I have beef with almost nobody. I can't think of one person that literally gets me to the point where I'm just so mad thinking about them, at least at this moment. Maybe there is. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want to see me make a video on Tommy Fury, I will. Maybe I will tomorrow, depending on how the video does, an extra upload of the week. But it depends. Maybe if you guys get this video to high views and give some good comments, I'll consider making another video for tomorrow. But guys, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. What do you guys think about my breakdown? Do you think KSI is going to be able to beat Tommy Fury? I don't know. I don't think so. My prediction, honestly, before his decision, I'm thinking late TKO. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to find out, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about the video, about the fight, about fight week, about everything. I'm going to respond to all of you guys. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.